The square of Florence trembles with whispers. A man, once celebrated, now stands before the crowd in disgrace. His name is Niccolò Machiavelli, accused, humiliated, exiled. You can almost hear the venom in the voices of his enemies. They believed they had silenced him. But in the shadows of his banishment, Machiavelli sharpens his pen like a dagger. He writes The Prince, not as a plea for redemption, but as a ruthless manual for power. It is better to be feared than loved, he declares, a sentence that will echo across centuries like a curse and a prophecy. Now, shift centuries forward. A very different man paces in solitude. Friedrich Nietzsche. His mind burns like a storm, too wild for the conventions of his time. He calls morality a prison, society a herd, religion a veil for weakness. God is dead, he dares to proclaim, not as a victory, but as a terrifying emptiness that demands mankind to create its own destiny. His words are fire. Some recoil in horror, others find in them the spark of liberation. Two men, two philosophies, one rooted in the cold strategies of politics, the other in the volcanic depths of human psychology. Yet both ask the same disturbing question. What are you willing to sacrifice to seize your full potential? You stand here, between Machiavelli's Florence and Nietzsche's storm-lit Germany, with their voices colliding in your mind. Their lessons are not gentle. They are sharp, dangerous, and brutally honest. This is Legend's legacy, where the words of the dead breathe fire into the struggles of the living. So, whose vision of human potential do you trust? The cunning fox of Florence, or the thunderous prophet of the will? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you seek more journeys into the minds that shaped our world, subscribe to Legend's Legacy. A dimly lit chamber in Renaissance Florence. The candle flickers against parchment where Machiavelli's hand scrawls words destined to outlive kings. He speaks of rulers not as saints but as hunters. A prince, he writes, must learn to be both lion and fox. The lion for strength, merciless, terrifying, unyielding. The fox for cunning, subtle, deceptive, capable of slipping through traps with a smile. To rule is to master the art of masks, to bend appearances to your will. Morality is a costume. Power, the only stage worth performing upon. But centuries later, Nietzsche scoffs at such theatrics. He does not want you to pretend to be strong. He demands you become strong. To him, the lion and the fox are not enough. They are strategies of survival, not transcendence. Nietzsche speaks of the Übermensch, the overman, who rises beyond the herd, who invents new values when old ones crumble. He whispers, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." The will to power is not mere politics. It is existence itself pressing forward, demanding creation, demanding greatness. You stand torn between these two visions. One is cold, pragmatic, ruthless in its clarity. Machiavelli's prince who manipulates, deceives, and dominates to hold the fragile crown of power. The other is fiery, transcendent, terrifying in its demands. Nietzsche's prophet who risks madness to carve meaning into a world stripped of God. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But to do so, must you wear Machiavelli's mask or burn with Nietzsche's flame? Pause and ask yourself, do you crave power over others or power over yourself? The path you choose defines not just politics, but the destiny of your soul. The courtroom of history is filled with masks. You see them everywhere, on thrones, in parliaments, in pulpits, even in your own mirror. Machiavelli rips the mask away with brutal honesty. He tells you plainly, rulers must lie, cheat, betray when necessary. Not because they are evil, but because the world is. Morality, he says, is the luxury of the powerless. The prince who clings to virtue alone will be devoured by wolves who do not. To survive, you must not only play the game, you must master it. Nietzsche, though, digs even deeper into this masquerade. He tells you morality itself is a mask. The commandments of religion, the ideals of equality, the rules of tradition, these are not eternal truths, but inventions of the weak to restrain the strong. He calls it slave morality, a system that glorifies humility, pity, obedience, all to keep humanity chained. Behind it hides resentment, a poison that makes the powerless feel righteous while they drag the powerful into submission. So what, then, becomes of truth? Is it a weapon in Machiavelli's hand, forged for control? Or is it, as Nietzsche claims, a battlefield where values themselves are at war, waiting for someone bold enough to create new ones? Fyodor Dostoevsky once wrote, "Man is sometimes extraordinarily, passionately in love with suffering." Perhaps that is why humanity clings to masks, because naked truth is unbearable. You are forced to ask yourself, are the ideals you hold dear truly yours, or are they masks handed down to you, crafted by centuries of manipulation? Here, morality is no longer a guide, it is a battlefield. And standing between Machiavelli and Nietzsche, you must decide, do you wield the mask, or do you rip it apart? The streets of Florence echo with unrest. Armies march, alliances fracture, kings betray with a smile. For Machiavelli, this chaos reveals one cruel truth: weakness is death. A state that hesitates, a leader who doubts, a prince who seeks to be loved more than feared, these will be swallowed by enemies without pity. Power, to him, is survival. Without it, there is no justice, no art, no glory. The burden of weakness is not just personal, it is the collapse of nations. Nietzsche shifts this battlefield inward. He whispers to you not of armies, but of the silent war inside your soul. Weakness, for him, is not simply political, it is psychological, spiritual. It is the resignation of those who submit to conformity, who drown their fire in mediocrity. To live without striving toward greatness is to betray life itself. His concept of the will to power is not about ruling others, but about mastering yourself, creating meaning where none is given. Become who you are, he cries. Do not waste your life living as someone else's shadow. And so, the contrast sharpens. Machiavelli warns you, without strength, the wolves devour you. Nietzsche warns you, without transcendence, you devour yourself. One demands you conquer the world outside, the other demands you conquer the abyss within. Both remind you of a truth you may not wish to face, that survival and greatness are never guaranteed, they must be seized, fought for, carved into the flesh of history. As you stand between these visions, the question becomes heavier. Is true power measured by the crown upon your head, or by the fire that refuses to die in your heart? A coronation hall, gilded with marble and silk. The prince ascends the throne. Applause roars, yet behind every cheer hides envy, behind every bow hides a dagger. Machiavelli's words whisper through the arches. To hold power, one must sometimes commit acts that would terrify the conscience of ordinary men. Betrayal, manipulation, blood, these are not accidents of rule, they are its instruments. Cruelty, when well used, is not evil but necessity. In his eyes, human potential is realized not in innocence, but in mastery over the darker currents of human nature. Nietzsche's vision, however, trembles on another edge. He does not glorify cruelty as politics, but as art. He sees in suffering a strange beauty, a force that tempers the spirit like fire tempers steel. One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star, he writes. For him, greatness is inseparable from struggle, even from madness. The dangerous beauty of human potential is that it demands you go where few dare to tread, into pain, into risk, into the abyss of your own becoming. Side by side, their philosophies shimmer with both brilliance and terror. Machiavelli offers the cold beauty of the strategist, a prince who bends the cruelty of the world into order. Nietzsche offers the blazing beauty of the creator, a soul who bends even despair into new meaning. Both demand a sacrifice. Both promise a form of immortality. And you, caught between fox and fire, must ask, what price are you willing to pay for greatness? To what extent will you embrace cruelty, chaos, and ambition before the mirror cracks and shows you what you have become? You open your eyes, and it is no longer Florence, no longer 19th century Germany. It is here now, the boardroom glowing under cold neon lights, the political stage bathed in cameras, the scrolling battlefield of social media. And yet, in every ruthless decision, in every manipulation of image, in every bold act of self-creation, you can still hear their voices. Machiavelli, reminding you that power belongs to those willing to do what others will not. Nietzsche, urging you to rise beyond comfort, beyond convention, beyond fear, to shape your life as a work of art. Their legacies are not relics, they are currents flowing through you. When you harden your heart to survive, Machiavelli walks beside you. When you defy the herd and refuse to bow to mediocrity, Nietzsche whispers in your ear. Their philosophies reveal something unsettling. Human potential is never gentle. It is forged in fire, in risk, in choices that may demand both cruelty and courage. And so the question remains, what path do you choose? Do you play the fox and lion to secure your crown in this brutal world? Or do you embrace the chaos within, daring to become more than what history or society has scripted for you? Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Yet what good means, Machiavelli and Nietzsche leave in your hands, sharp as a blade. This is Legend's legacy, where the voices of the past haunt the struggles of the present. If these ideas stirred you, if they ignited questions in your mind, share your thoughts below. Whose vision do you follow, the strategist of survival or the prophet of becoming? And if you hunger for more journeys into the dangerous wisdom of history's greatest minds, subscribe to Legend's Legacy. Your path into the shadows has only just begun.